get this done here, dude. We're live.
I know. Hey, I'm in the backyard, and it's a beautiful day here in Orange County, man.
It's a beautiful day. We both got our quarantine mustaches going on today.
Oh, man. Absolutely.
It's a perfect day for some dirtbag talk with our dirty mustaches.
I hear you, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Got the Easton lid on, ready to roll.
We got it. I got Easton shirt, Easton lid in the house. Kids are on a Zoom call in the other room, so here we are. All right, so we got a bunch of followers out here today watching. So welcome to our first virtual Team Easton interview. Definitely living in some strange times. Can't get out of houses, can't play baseball. The grind never stops. Players all over the country are taking hacks in the garages, taking grounders off the wall, working out and prep.
Great to see, isn't it, man? Great to see.
Yep.
Awesome,
hopefully
man.
we get back soon to something. So Long Beach State, obviously, first year with Easton this year. Dude, you guys are a legendary program. I think started playing D1 1969, 4 College World Series appearances, 10 Big West Conference championships. Dude, more major leaguers, I think from 2010 to present in Major League Baseball. Tulo, Weaver, Longoria, Crosby. List keeps going. So you took over the program coming from St. Mary's this last year. Long Beach only had 14 wins in 2019. And, dude, when the season was suspended, you guys are number 16 in the country. Did I get that wrong, or am I right on that?
No, I think you're right, man. Yeah, it was definitely a good start. And it's just an honor, man. It's an honor to be here and be in this unbelievable program that, man, so many great coaches and great players and, great alumni base, great fan support, great facility. It's a dream come true, obviously. And, yeah, we were off to a really good start. I mean, these our boys, they played hard and worked hard and played with a little chip on their shoulder. So it was off to a good start and obviously disappointed in just like a lot of these people that are here watching, I mean, how it all ended. But it is what it is. And obviously there's a greater deal that's going on here worldwide. So just got to suck it up and move forward.
It is what it is, man. And I woke up this morning and looked at the schedule, and if this season was still going on, I mean, what a monster matchup today would have been. You would have been playing UCLA at home, 6 o'clock tonight, 74 degrees. Instead, here we are sitting at home, throwing out our mustaches on the couch.
Yeah, man, it's hard, and I've been doing that, just kind of seeing on the weekends where we would have been or who would have been playing against, and it's tough, but again, it was such an exciting start to the season, and obviously being my first year here, it felt like this whole thing is off to a good start from a program sense, and I'm just excited to continue to move forward. And I mean, we just got a good group of kids that just practiced and played with the chip on their shoulder, and it was a lot of fun. It definitely was.
And I think that's kind of I think that kind of embodies dirtbag baseball, right? Like, I remember I was out at your field to do a bat demo early in fall. Maybe the first week you guys were there. It might have been the first day. And that was a culture change day one. So I talked to the kids out there a little bit about the culture, that you've instilled in Long Beach. Like, what embodies that dirtbag player?
No, that's a good question. And look, it's a style of play, and I was a young guy growing up in the San Gabriel Valley, and you look at a place like Long Beach State, back in the day, and it's just something different, it really is, and not that there isn't tough kids, tough programs around, but I think just the mantra of Long Beach State and the players and the coaches that came before and how they played the game, the style, kind of playing baseball like football players, running through a brick wall, getting dirty, diving everywhere, running hard. And again, not that other programs don't do that. I think they just, they took it to that next level and just obviously what this place, means to this whole baseball community and the alums. And it's just phenomenal. And to be here and to have this opportunity, hey, I just want to uphold, what all of those alums and those coaches, those great coaches before me, what they said, and I want to make sure that we look back at those times and understand and share with our players what it means to be a dirtbag. And again, I'm just proud to be here and proud to be part of it. And again, we honor those guys that were, and the coaches that were before us, and hopefully we can, take it to the next level and make this community proud.
Well, you're off to a good start. I mean, man, you guys, I think you swept Wake Forest this year. I think they were ranked around 24 or so. And then number 6, Mississippi State rolls into Blair, and you guys take 2 of 3 with some lights-out pitching. It's pretty awesome. And then from there, I think, and I heard the story, you guys got on a plane to fly out to Tulane at the crack of dawn. You land in New Orleans, get a phone call. Yeah, dude, book another flight. You're coming home today. So let us know what that was like with, telling your kids and the coaches and the families, like, we're going home. The season's been halted.
Yeah, no, and I'll start with when you're talking about the Wake Forest, Mississippi State. I mean, that was obviously this dream job, and when you at a place like Long Beach State, you have those type of series, against 16th ranked Wake Forest and number 6 Mississippi State, and then we get on our first road trip. We're going to get on a plane and go to New Orleans and play top 25 ranked Tulane. And so the story is that, we're leaving on a Thursday morning at 7:25 out of LAX. And, we get on and the night before, my athletic director and I were talking about, this is getting close and this may not happen, but nothing had been set in stone just yet, with the NCAA or our Big West Conference or anything. So, we get up, we leave Long Beach State at about 4:25 to LAX, and then we get on a plane 7:25 and we're flying out. And actually, I never really get the Wi-Fi or get on my phone on the plane. If we're doing anything, we're doing scatter reports or doing whatever. But I did it just because there was a lot of things going on Twitter about the what was going on with baseball and other just worldwide stuff. And I mean, literally by the time we were in the middle of our flight, it actually turned into we weren't going to play the series after all. And so by the time we landed, we had already been looking for flights to come back. And so we landed in New Orleans, and we got on a flight at about 7:55 back. So we got on a quick bus, got some lunch as a team, and then we actually drove to Bourbon Street, and the bus driver just stopped right in the middle of it. We got off, we took a team picture, got back on, and went straight back to the airport. And then we flew back at 7:55 p.m. and got back into LAX later that evening. So it was a long flight to just go out there and have lunch and come back. But I mean, tough conversation obviously with the players. They wanted to play, and there's a great Tulane team that we were going to face. And so I mean, it is what it is. We got back, and obviously it was really difficult on the players and especially the seniors. And at that point, it wasn't the season yet. It was just that weekend, and then a week or so later, it becomes a season. So, yeah.
Well, hey, at least you guys had a little bit of fun, and I guess it builds some good character and some team camaraderie into next year. So, talking about players, what are you guys doing at Long Beach to stay connected with the kids on the team right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. I think everybody's probably in the same boat. I think first and foremost, this is probably the first time in a lot of our players and probably high school players and youth players that there is no baseball, right? There's no working out or no organized practices or whatever it may be. So we're really harping on the academic side of things. Not that we aren't during season or at any point, but now is the time where they have so much time to really focus 100% on the academic side of things. And for some of these guys, online courses are a lot different than going into classes and building relationships with your professors and those type of things. So, our guys, this is new to a lot of our guys, is the online deal. And so, being a good student, making sure that they're on top of it, And then on the other side of it, just communication, getting on all these Zoom calls and, with our guys and just communicating and talking about things and team building activities and nutritionists and, our trainers, what they could do, with our strength conditioning coach had a good one the other day with our team, just about what they can do at home with the limited resources that they have and just staying busy. I think one of the biggest things that I'm trying to push on our guys is still have a routine, right? Have a routine. I mean, it's really easy to sleep in until 11 o'clock and say, oh, well, it's Groundhog's Day, right? It's the next day, or it's going to be the same thing anyway. So having a routine, getting up early, getting your work in, whatever you have to do academically, whatever you can do from a physical standpoint. And then, communication, just talking. And here's the other part of it is there's so much of this going on, right? So much of these podcasts and these live Instagram feeds and all these things with coaches. And what a great time to learn. What a great time to just fill your mind with information and get better. And that's, so you actually can be busy, and that's the thing. You got to be busy. You got to stay busy in these times. And you can't make excuses. You can't sit there and be the best, video game player on earth or Netflix, even though, there's some time for that for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was going to be my next question was what advice would you give the youth player, the high school kid who is done for the year? And I mean, you nailed it right there. It's probably get a routine, get your stuff going, and, don't mope around. Like, you can be sad, but like, why? Keep going.
Yeah. And again, everybody's in the same boat. So it's really hard to, do it, and it really is. And so, you got to force yourself to, to get up early. You got to force yourself to stay on a routine and to do something and to stay motivated. And even for us coaches, you wake up and I constantly am like, what can I do to help my players get better? And there's some days where it's just checking in on a guy or two, and just shooting a text or a phone call and just saying, hey, how you doing? How's school? And communicating with your coaching staff and just, even the recruiting part of it is you got to find a way from a coaching standpoint to stay with it, recruiting wise as well, build relationships. This is a good, opportunity for us to build relationships with coaches and with players and those type of things too. So there is plenty of work to do and plenty of work to be done during this time without making excuses as to why you can't.
Yeah, I get it, man. And that I think that relationship thing is a key. It's key with, Easton and our schools and you and your players and you and recruits and all that stuff. So relationships are a crucial part of the whole thing. I mean, I'm looking at some of the comments coming in from some of the kids out there, and I don't know what we can and can't talk about, but like, in general, like these kids want to know what can they do? What can they work on?
And that's a great question. And I will say this, where this thing, it makes life difficult for in a lot of different ways in the baseball sense of things, right? I mean, you look at these seniors in high school that, that came in this year and maybe they don't have a home yet, and they're coming in their senior year and they have a chip on their shoulder and they're going to prove that, that they're going to find a home and I understand that. And so the season gets cut short. And so a lot of those guys have questions, what to do now? I mean, what's going to happen? And so, and those are tough questions to answer, but you got to stay positive. You got to continue to work. I mean, video is a big deal for us now, right? I mean, it's almost like football. Football does that a ton, right? With videos, and these coaches from colleges are kind of live off of that video. And so baseball, not as much, but now it becomes a huge deal, and us watching video of guys working out and guys throwing bullpens. And I know it's limited just because of you can't get out too much and you can't work out as much or get on fields. But, I think that's a big thing. Staying ready, because you don't know what's going to happen this summer, right? We don't know. I mean, we could say that summer's not looking good and it may not happen, but you never know. And something could happen here in the next couple of weeks, and you have to be ready because, colleges can still get guys and bring guys in, basically up until the first day of school, man. And so I know it's hard to stay patient, but you got to continue to work and just be ready for whatever's next, right? If it's in July or even August or into the fall, I mean, you gotta just continue to to build, because the hard thing is if you don't and you relax and you're not staying with it, then, you know, if you get back to playing in the summer, then hopefully, you know, you stay healthy, you don't get injured because you weren't you know, staying with it and keeping your body in shape.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So for the kids out there too, that was great insight. How about like, I mean, I know you work a lot with pitchers. So what kind of drills would you have? Some tips for these youngsters at home. What can they be doing in their backyard, in their garage, something like that? A couple quick drills.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think obviously catch play is huge, right? Just staying and just not letting your arm just sit there and not do much. I mean, you know, with my young one, I have 10-year-olds. I have twin boys that are 10, and, you know, I'm just constantly trying to get them, you know, to stay busy and work on their catch play and whatever it may be. I mean, a lot of arm exercises. I mean, you know, if guys are you know, using band work, or they're using, you know, the weighted balls or whatever it may be, you know, this is those opportunities to kind of stay with that and keep your arm in somewhat shape. It's going to be difficult, you know, to, again, when you're not around a team, or you're not around, or maybe you don't have a, you know, a friend that's going to be with you every single day. It's hard to have something structured, you know, with your catch play, but you could do some things to strengthen, you know, your muscles or keep them loose or whatever it may be. And so again, just staying busy and you're still at some point going to need that time to get your arm in shape, right? And whether it's throwing bullpens or long toss or whatever it may be. So again, and there's so much information. I mean, you know, there's so much information out there that you could watch videos and do things, and you know, people out there are putting a lot of good content out for guys, you know, at any age. And that's the hardest part is, you know, I mean, it's one thing what I'm telling and sharing with we're on a different, you know, time frame than possibly, you know, the youth ball player that may play early in the summer if they're able to, you know. I mean, my guys, you know, our season got cut 15 games in. So what are we doing from a pitching staff standpoint right now, or even position players with their arms, right? And then are they going to go play summer ball, or am I going to need them ready for the fall? And so, you know, I'm constantly thinking through this, and I have to be patient and wait to see what's going to happen. From the youth ball standpoint, it's kind of what I'm dealing with my kids, my 10-year-olds, as to, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, their little league season's over, right? Summer ball, their travel ball team, you know, I don't know what's going to happen there. And so that might be a little different as to, you know, how much we're doing every single day, other than just staying active, right? Not only playing catch, taking some swings, dry swings, whatever it may be, rolling them ground balls in the backyard or in the front. I mean, just keeping them with it a little bit. And then even at this age, at 10, 11, 12, to, you know, watch some of these videos, you know, watch some of these great coaches, you know, talk about certain drills and talk about, you know, whatever it may be, the mental side of the game or staying active. So there's a lot of great information out there that, you know, guys can continue to get better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. There's a lot of information for kids, a lot of content right now. I got a couple of young guys too. And man, you know what's cool about this thing is the fun that can be generated in the backyard just by throwing a ball, hitting wiffle balls. Like, we're having fun every day without the stresses of actually competing in a game. So,
no, absolutely.
All right.
Agree.
So what do you got on, like, Blair? Dude, iconic field. And Blair's been there forever. Host the area code games. I played there. Like, tough place to come into and play. Upgrades. Anything changing there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, with the situation that's going on now, maybe put a halt to some of the things, you know, for right now. And obviously there's a lot of important areas that need to get fixed, you know, in the sense of from within not only our athletic department, but our school in general. And so, but I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, it's such an historic place. So many great players and so many people have played there, whether you're in, you know, travel ball, high school, whatever it may be. Yeah, I just, again, the atmosphere that is created by the fans and it's just something different, and it's great. You know, we're looking to do a lot of things. I mean, it is historic and old at times, but just from within and just, you know, there's some things that we want to do with the outside of it. I mean, paint, you know, just kind of repainting it a little bit. I mean, they've made small adjustments to some things with signage and, you know, paint on the inside of the stadium. And I know there's some things that we're talking about with the track, you know, and possibly turfing behind home plate, you know, up the lines. And we made some adjustments with the dugouts this year, and obviously a couple years back with the Tulowitzki hitting facility is you know, one of the best out there, man.
That
it's
is unbelievable.
And so yeah,
I think
so
like, dude, like for recruiting and like players, the facility on offer is such a big draw nowadays. So I mean, and you've got one of the good ones. So
yeah, no, it is, and to me, one of the best fan bases in America as well. And so that place was getting crazy, and that's what was so disappointing with how the season, you know, ended like this, because there was so much excitement, and the fans were out there going crazy, and it's just it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, that series with Mississippi State was something else. That was wild.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so I got a couple questions from some kids on here. Looks like we got some catchers watching. They want to know if you've got some stretches or drills for a catcher. As a pitcher, what do you like to see in a catcher?
Yeah, that's a good question. Stretches, man. I don't know the last time I stretched myself. So
Same.
But you know what? Hey, yes. You know, I'm a pitching guy, and from a catching standpoint, look. Again, there is so many new things going on, and so many, you know, I don't know to call them upgrades or what, but there's so much information as to, from a catching standpoint, that you can get from all of these, you know, big time catching guys out there. From me, you know, what I like to see, and to be honest with you, man, a lot has to do with your pitchers and how good your catchers can be, right? I mean, you can have the best arm in the world behind the plate, the best release point, but if your pitcher is long to the plate and takes forever, I mean, the catcher's not going to have time at all to throw anybody out. So, you know, I look for really simple things. I mean, how you, you know, how you receive, obviously how you block, you know, and communication with your pitcher is huge. And you know, just little detail things. I mean, when you're in the backyard, I mean, just softening up your hands. I mean, literally using a tennis ball. I mean, and again, a lot of this is when you're not around a team aspect of things where you can do drills and do all these type of things. I mean, what can you actually do? And so again, you know, using your wall and throwing a tennis ball against it and working on your receiving, even your blocking, you can do that. But again, you know, there's a lot of different things. I like to keep things simple. I know once we're around, you know, our practice setting and we have those individual defensive segments, you know, we'll dive into a lot of those type of drills. But for me, it's really simple. I mean, how you catch the ball and you know, catching it a lot, not letting balls get to the backstop, you know, and keeping it really simple in how to do that. And from a throwing out standpoint, your pitcher has to give you a chance, you know, and has to be quick to the plate to give you a chance to throw, you know, and then, you know, obviously, you know, accuracy and all that comes with how you play catch and your arm strength. And so, yeah.
All right. So we'll get one more question from these guys here. So a player in general, what makes a kid stand out on a field? Hustle, heart, baseball savvy. Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah. We're looking for good players, man. You know, and that's and what is a good player? I mean, what's the type of player that we look for is number one. I mean, you know, obviously the result standpoint is a big deal. I mean, you can have tools, you can be fast, you can be strong, you can do those things, but you got to be able to do it. And you got to be able to put up numbers. And I think that's, you know, and I hate to sound, you know, it's so result oriented or result based, but, you know, we're looking for guys that have a knack for getting hits, you know, and pitchers a knack for, you know, throwing a lot of zeros, you know, and so I think that's where you start from that. And then, you know, from a tool standpoint, what are they good at? Are they fast? Are they, you know, do they, you know, command? I mean, I think from different aspects of things, for me as a pitcher, I want command. I want guys that throw a ton of strikes. I can care less if they throw 100 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour. I want guys that fill up the zone and that get after it, that know how to do all those little things, that compete their butt off. From a position standpoint, you know, not only results, they can put the barrel on the ball a ton of times. They play hard. You know, you know, they're great teammates. They come from great families. You know, that you know, that help them. And again, we want talented athletes, you know, guys that are going to be good for us on and off the field, and you know, aren't going to give us problems. And to be honest with you, I want guys that play baseball like football players, just play with their hair on fire, and that do everything hard. You know, a perfect example is, you know, a ball popped up in the infield, man. I tell our guys a ton, you know, instead of putting our head down and throwing our bat and you know, we're expecting that guy to drop the ball in the infield, and we're going to be standing on second base, you know. So just little details like that, and those type of guys that I want. And you know, again, it's all of it. I'm blessed, and we're blessed enough to be at a place where, you know, we can recruit some pretty high caliber kids, not only on the baseball field, but you know, we can find those kids that are going to be great teammates. They're going to become, you know, they come from great families, you know, that value education and value, you know, their kids. And again, that's a lot of stuff, but that's our job.
That's good insight right there. I don't know if you caught that, but I almost got drilled in the forehead with a Nerf bullet while you were saying that. Yeah, the kids are sniping me from the back over by the couch. Yeah, it's getting dangerous.
That's why I'm in the backyard, man. Are you kidding me?
I can't escape over here. So, all right. Let's see. I got one last question here. Do you, as a coach or player, do you have a funky superstition? Anything with baseball? You got a pair of socks you wear on a winning streak? You never shave? What do you got?
God, that's a great question. You know, I try to stay away from those little detail things, because then all of a sudden, if I don't do them, then you know, you set yourself up for disaster. You know, but you know, no, I think you know, from a coaching standpoint, I think, you know, routinely based, you know, what you do on a minute to minute, you know, on a game day is pretty standard as to, you know, you want to stay, you know, you want to stay on this timeline, and make sure the guys have this, you know, some sort of routine on a daily basis, which in the end could obviously, you talk about it on the flip side of it too, because you can come off of that routine, and how are you going to, you know, you know, what are you going to do in those senses, right? I mean, you know, if you're so gung-ho on staying to a routine or doing something, this is why that question is hard for me, because, man, I like my guys, like, if you're in a routine every single day, what happens on a rain day, right? Or what happens in a rain delay, or, you know, you're out your routine, and how are you going to respond to that, you know? And so we try to stay away from those a little bit. But again, it's hard, man. This is baseball, and guys have routines, and they have to do things a certain way a lot to feel good or feel, you know, whatever. But again, you're going to have to be able to deal with when those things don't go right, or when those things don't happen. How can you deal with that?
All right, so we will ask one more. My guy Ed keeps blowing us up on here. He wants to know about the small ball approach. I know that's something that Long Beach has been known for in the past, playing some small ball, advancing runners, moving them around, playing hard-nosed, gritty baseball, and winning games. Anything on that?
Yeah. You know, I think that has to be part of you know, your offense. I think that, as well as, you know, this new era. I mean, look, I want to be physical. I want to be able to drive balls in the gap and over the fence. But you can't be one-dimensional. You know, we have arguably, to me, the best hitting coach in America, and Brian Peters. And what we talk about is being able to do anything. You know, I mean, yes, small ball when small ball is needed, you know, but again, you know, I want our guys to swing the bat and drive the baseballs in the gaps and over the fence. That's a scary thought when you have physical guys coming up to the plate when there's a pitcher on the mound. That's, you know, you have to, you know, we want our guys to, you know, those pitchers to be a little nervous as to what they're going to throw here, because we're going to drive the baseball. But, you know, that small ball effect, I think the best offenses are the ones that can do a lot of those things. You know, they can bunt when needed, they can drag, they can push, they can hit run, they steal bases, you know, they can drive balls in the gaps and over that's just a hard offense to pitch to and to play defense against. So, you know, we're not going to be, you know, we don't want to be pigeonholed as a, you know, small ball or whatever it may be. But again, we don't, you know, we're not going to just go up there and take big old monster swings and strike out a ton. And, you know, we want to put the ball in play for and put pressure on the defense in every aspect, whether it's driving balls in the gaps over the fence or bunting, dragging, pushing, whatever it may be. So just having a well-balanced offense is what we want to be definitely known for.
Using those Easton bats to bunt, hit balls in the
best,
gap,
man.
and bombs, baby.
They're the best, man. And again, hey, I want to thank you guys for supporting us in this program. I mean, this is our guys love everything that you guys have given to us and helped us with, and obviously we love the relationship. And not only that, just the being able to work with you guys one-on-one just like this and having these relationships and the customer service that you guys have is just top-notch. So thank you guys.
Well, Eric, listen, man, we appreciate you. We appreciate having Long Beach State on the Team Easton train. Your kids are representatives of you, and every time I'm out there, man, they are good kids. They say thank you, please. They have respect. So appreciate you joining me on this today. We got it done. It was
man.
my first Instagram Live ever.
You're the man.
Nervous, but now we got it.
You're good to go, man. You're good to go. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep, you got it. Easton Nation, we'll see you guys tomorrow.